this is to me very, very special. I've been following this guy for many years. I'm inspired by people that can break records. I'm inspired by athletes. I think this is an athlete in our industry. I think this is the person that doesn't wait for somebody else to break a record. This is a person that breaks the record. And so here's my challenge to you. Today you have an opportunity to watch a guy that brought this vision to life with 3 different companies, and he's gonna prove to the world that he can buy 1,000 cars a month. So take your pencils out, take your pens out. Your goal is to write down the math and challenge the math. And Brian's gonna show us how to make that possible. Give me a huge round of applause for Mr. Brian Benstock.
I'm going all the way. Come on, guys. Hey, I'm sorry. I love what we do. I really, really, really do. But I'd be remiss if I didn't start out with gratitude. I am so thankful for Danny and Chris and the VINCUE team to have us here. I am so thankful for the trust in Dave Boyce and his team at Team Velocity, that on an idea, a thought, took the leap of faith. Because, you know, integration is evolution's new frontier. And I think our industry doesn't do well with integration. And then I brought in somebody else, this gentleman, Sanjay, from Spine AI, to solve a different problem. I am not a financial participant in this outcome. If you join up and you do well, that's great. I don't have a benefit from it. Nor does your success hurt my success. If you do a great job in the service lane, that doesn't impact me one way or the other. If I do a great job, it's not going to impact you. But I can tell you this. I think we nailed it. I think we nailed it. I think we've got the right formula. And I said to Ariel, my manager, I said, you know, the target now for sales and service has got to be 900 cars a month. We're going to sell 900 cars a month. And he looked at me like I was freaking crazy. And I love that look. I love that look. Because the same crew looked at me when I said, in 2010, we're going to sell 180 cars a month out of service. They gave me the same look. And at the time, we were selling about 30. And so I'm going to take you through the progression. My job today, I think, is to tie in what the previous speakers talked about, to bring in what the vision of VINCUE is, the vision of Dave Boyce and Team Velocity, to talk about AI agents, which I think are the future that you're all entitled to have, and to share with you my struggle, my journey, and some of the things that we've done that have worked out in the past. We set a goal to double the service department in 2017, to double it. And I said we're going to double business in 2 years or less. I got together with Team Velocity. We came up with all these crazy ideas for pickup and delivery. A dealership had closed down in Manhattan, and I had this great idea. We're going to have customers drop off cars in 4 different garages. We're going to pick up the cars. We're going to bring them to Paragon, and we're going to bring it back to the customers in the garage. And it's a ridiculous idea. But from that ridiculous idea, Sean Wolfington said, hey, I know these guys at RedCap, and they're doing some business with Lincoln Mercury, and perhaps they can do the pickup and delivery for you. And then I brought RedCap together with Team Velocity, and we manufactured a process like Frankenstein. We took MDS, it was a texting platform, and then we took RedCap, and then we took a buying platform, and we stitched them all together. And I'm proud to say, as of today, since 2017, we've picked up over 200,000 cars in the New York area for service and generated $60 million in fixed ops profit, more than doubling business. So I say this, we've done this before. And I think together, we can do it again. You don't have to wait. This is something you go back to the store and you can start on now. So let's get started. Who am I? I'm Brian Benstock. I am the general manager and vice president of Paragon Honda and Paragon Acura in Queens, New York. And in 2023, I also purchased from my partner, White Plains Honda. The stores are my pride and joy. Besides my family, there's nothing more important than the stores. We've set a lot of records. We're the #1 certified Honda dealership in the world 17 years in a row. #1 certified Acura dealer in the world 14 years in a row. And that started out with a vision. Because when you get it, once you get it, you get it. And I went to this breakout seminar at a meeting like I'm going to this afternoon or this evening in Chicago. And the breakout meeting was on certified used cars, a franchise within a franchise. And I showed up at the meeting. I sat down with my pad and pen. I sat down and I listened. And the guy said, you can get into the certified business today. You don't need blue sky. I said, great, I don't have blue sky. He said, you don't need working capital. I said, great, I don't have that either. And he said, it will be the franchise within the franchise. I went up to Sam Delenti, the zone manager. I said, Sam, I'm going to be the #1 certified dealer in the world. He said, well, that's good. You sold 12 last year. 12. A year later, we're selling 100 certified cars a month. We set a goal to double that. And we went to 200. And the second we hit 200, I said, you know what? 300! And you know what they did? 300. Our certified used car department was selling 3,000 cars, not a month, excuse me, 200, 300 a month, yeah, but we were selling 3,000 cars a year out of that certified department from 12. None of that matters. That's ancient history. We are students. All of us here are students. I come to these meetings to learn. And Murat Deljanin, who's in the back of the room, and he's a super talented guy, he and I took an AI course at MIT University. And I found myself cramming for a test. I would cram for a test since I'm a little kid. And Tuesdays, right, Murat, Tuesday the assignments were due. And Tuesday my wife's going, what are you doing? I got to get the assignment in. She goes, what the hell are you? I got to get the assignment in. And it was on AI. And, we had just enough knowledge to be dangerous. And we went back to the store and we realized we can't really put any of this in place, but what it really did prepare us for is to be able to discuss intelligently AI with all the different vendors that we were talking to. I think we had a really good understanding of it. I went to NYU Business School after I graduated. I took great courses that taught me how to disrupt and how to have a sustained business model and a disruptive business model and how to run them together. And you have the sustained business model. You've got to get that super strong so you can pay for the innovation model. And that class has paid me millions of dollars because I've learned how to go from non-digital to digital, from non-pickup and delivery to pickup and delivery, from non-AI to AI. Market disruption. What a world we live in. They say, may you be blessed to live in interesting times. We live in interesting times. Ashley?
Electronics, furniture, clothing, and cars that are all about to cost more.
In some cases, thousands of dollars more.
Trump has no idea what he's talking about. What he's doing has put us in a very vulnerable position.
Fasten your seatbelts. We could be in for a bumpy ride.
Russia's going to meet with us at Nazi.
A large tornado outbreak.
Record flood level.
New tariffs are in place.
Car prices will rise.
I want to buy a car, but it's too darn expensive.
What is a buyer to do
Honest to God, we don't know how to sell it.
It's unfair for us. We got bills, we got kids.
There was pressure to wrap this thing up quicker.
Right. Faster the better on it. Have the negotiations, get it resolved, still resolved.
We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
If we don't win that case, our country is going to suffer so greatly.
I'm a big fan of Jim Rohn, and Murat and I were out sailing. We were on the motorboat, and we were in the Peconic Bay, and the wind was blowing right at us, and there was a sailboat that was sailing directly into the wind. And I think Murat was puzzled. How can you sail directly into the wind? And I said to him this quote that he knows well, it's the set of the sail that determines, and you have the air coming in, gets squoze, and it pushes you along. And it really is the set of the sail, right? The same wind blows on us all, but you can go in whatever direction you want. The same economy blows on us all, and you can go in the direction you want. The same good president or bad president is in the White House, but we can go in the direction that we want. It's really the set of the sail. It's not what happens to you, but what you do with that matters. And I don't know how you're feeling about your government these days. I'm in New York City. This is my mayor. My mayor, who said he's a socialist, but he's my mayor. And I posted something on LinkedIn that said, democracy worked. Democracy worked. This was democracy in action. I got attacked. This is not my guy. I don't believe in socialism, but democracy worked. The people spoke, and from everything I could see, it was a fair election. And the people said, hey, we're not happy. There's nothing I can do about it because you got this guy in the White House. And I don't know, maybe he's your guy, maybe he's not your guy. This is a picture of his mugshot. You know, that's an interesting thing. The same president we all have. And you can sit there and say, Trump's a bad guy. And I can't succeed because he don't care. He just don't care. If it's going to be, it's up to me. I learned that from Jackie Cooper in the 80s. If it's going to be, it's up to me. If it can be done, I can do it. I can do it if it can be done. So what do you do then? You lean into the data. I've got two fantastic partners. Both of them are here. Both of them work for Google. And Google has a saying, in God we trust. Everybody else bring the data. And that really sets you straight. You know, in God we trust, but what does your data say? And the data for us said that the number one increase in impact to the bottom line in contribution was going to be collision parts, tires, service. And I remember the woman who spoke. She was a German woman from McKinsey. And she was so compelling in what she said, and her data was screaming. And I sat there, and I'm a variable guy. And I'm sitting there saying, that's not true. That's not true. How is that? Wait, F&I can't be down there. How can F&I be down here? Wait, she doesn't understand. She's from McKinsey. But she was right. Service business is an $800 billion industry. $800 billion. Do you know what percentage we get? 20% of it. 80% of that goes to the independents. Do you not think there's opportunity there? That industry by 2032 is going to be a $2.2 trillion industry that we're getting 20% of. Is there opportunity? I think so. What else does the data say? Well, this is our friends from Cox Automotive. You read that guy, what is it, that guy Jason Smoltz or whatever, you read his report, and you want to cry. Every time I read the data report, it says car prices are $50,000. The average price of a car is $50,000. And my manager's saying, oh, boss, nobody's going to buy cars at $50,000. I go, dude, what's reality? We sell Hondas. The average price of a Honda is considerably less. We have cars as low as $24,500. And our highest priced car is $55,000. But what do? We have these EV cars. Can you imagine being in a neighborhood, an urban neighborhood, with all high-rise buildings, and factory says, Benstock, you earned 200 electric vehicles. Where the hell do you plug them? I'm serious. What do you get, a 500-foot extension cord when you buy from Paragon? What's the pitch? Here's the pitch. $99 a month. That's right, $99 a month. And you know what? The customers figured out where to plug the cars. Because if it's going to be, it's up to us. If it's going to be, it's up to me. Marat put the ad online. We put the ad everywhere. And what happened? The number one selling EV dealer in the nation. This shows number 2. We're number 1 for the 2 years combined. In October, we sold 107 Prologues. Why only 107? We ran out. There was no place to plug them. They didn't sell more EVs in California. They didn't sell more in Nevada. They didn't sell more in Oregon. All these guys that pretend to be environmentalists. Queens, New York, baby. Queens. They're still driving around. They don't know where to plug them. We'll figure that out later. More data. What's the data say? The data says something else. The data says digital research shows that in 2025, the third busiest website for e-commerce is going to be automotive parts. That's not the third busiest in automotive. That's of all websites. We said, gee, we got to get there. They said the length of car ownership is now the oldest it's ever been. The fleet's 15 years old. And so you may say, people aren't buying cars. I'm saying people are going to need cars, baby. They're going to need cars. And the last is, with these new cars and this new technology, the cost of repairs has never been higher. And that to me is like, that's more service business. And they're not yet hitting that point where they're not doing service. So that's pretty good news for us. But I want to focus on this. So you get this data, and what do you do with that data? Well, we took a look, and we said, we're going to get in the parts business. And who's there? That freaking Bezos guy, Jeffrey. And he's climbing, and he's there, and he's got his parts, and he's got these things that look like those VLAs, the vehicle listing ads. He's got the equivalent of that in parts. And I'm saying, Ashley, Andrew, we got to get VLAs. And then she goes, they're not called VLAs. I said, whatever they're called, they got to look like that. And our strategy was simple, simply this: wherever they are, we are. Hey, Bezos, wherever he is, we are. We're not going to beat Bezos. But it's that old story. If a bear's chasing us, I don't have to beat the bear. I just got to beat you. I don't have to beat Bezos. I just got to beat the next guy. And you know how many dealers were there? None. None. So it's our game to win. That's pretty cool. So we did this. We took a look at what are the parts that are selling the most. And so tires in October and December, batteries in January and February, brakes in April and August, mufflers, oil change. And we put advertising dollars behind that. And they were cheap. Why? Because nobody's there. Whenever, wherever, however, we'll get the parts to you. And the pickup and delivery system gave us sort of a railway system through Queens, and then we can make use of this other thing that's out there, Uber and Uber Eats, and we figure we use Uber to deliver the parts, and now we've got 1,100 people that will deliver our parts for us, and we're just getting into that. And there's some investor guys here from some group, and I think they just did some transaction with a parts guy, and I hear it was a couple of $1 billion. That's what I hear. There's gold in them there hills. And I say this because all of us need to think bigger. I need to think bigger. You need to think bigger. That's why we're here, to think bigger. The companies that succeed during this transition will be the ones that use AI effectively. This is another data point. And when I first read that, I said, you know what, Elon Musk, he's a pretty sharp guy. And I don't get hung up on, well, his politics. I don't like his politics. Who cares about his politics? The guy just got $1 trillion. $1 trillion. Forgive me, what business is he in? He's selling cars. You got a car salesman making $1 trillion, and you're not going to listen to him? $1 trillion. What pay plan is he on? What percentage is that? Sign me the hell up, Elon, man. And so I looked at that, and it's surprising how long things take and shocking how fast they happen. And that's what's happening with AI. The stuff that Marat and I were looking at 6 months ago, it's like Fred Flintstone today. We were working with the Wolf of Wall Street, Jordan Belfort. Marat and I were going to lunch, and we're creating this stuff, and we said, no, we're going to do this separately. We're going to do it on our own. You want too big a slice of the pizza? I think we're crazy enough to think we can do this on our own. AI is not going to replace people. The people that use AI are going to replace those that don't. And when I first heard that, I thought, that's profound. And I want you to think of AI like a power saw to a carpenter who was using a handsaw. And all of a sudden, this power saw doesn't replace him. It makes him invincible. And AI has the same capacity to do that for us. It's not man versus machine. It's man with machine. I met somebody from Cerritos Honda. And they got a big store out there in California. I think it's Norm Reeves Superstore. And you know why they call it the Superstore? It's a superstore. They sell a hell of a lot of cars. And I thanked him for being competition. Because competition's co. It's with. It's not against. Competition. I said, the more business you guys do, the more we do. The better you are, the better we are. And it's the same thing here, for us. Because the illiterate of the 21st century are not going to be those that can't read or write. It's going to be those that can't learn, unlearn, and relearn. And that comes from a book called Future Shock that was written in 1970. And so I've had a pretty good ability to learn, unlearn, and relearn. I learned the car business from Paul Singer. I think I learned everything from Paul Singer. The most important thing I learned from PS is how to learn, unlearn, and relearn. He passed away in 2006. And we've done tremendous business since 2006. Not in spite of him, but because of him, because we learned how to learn, unlearn, and relearn. And a lot of guys want to hold on to a past that really no longer exists. That past is gone. Adaptation. You've got some dealers in the country right now that are level 0, and they're going to wait and see. They think AI is a fad, like the .com stuff. They think it's going to blow over, and they've done absolutely nothing. That's okay. You've got other dealers that are putting their toe in the water, and they're using AI to write emails and to respond to things and to correct spelling. Well, that's good for a lot of us, and that's stage 1. Stage 2 is where you begin to start to use the tools, and you're testing the water. You're putting your foot in the water, and you say, I'm not going to replace my people with AI. I'm not asking you to. I'm just asking you to give the tasks that they don't want to do maybe to AI. And then there's stage 3, which is you start integrating it into some workflows and scaling it up. And I'd say we're in between 3 and 4. And stage 4 is when your AI is embedded in drives and decisions and the tasks are automated. And someone asked me, why did you put your AI agent on the VDP page? I don't understand that. And it's like that question they asked Willie Sutton. They say, hey, Willie, why do you rob banks? And he answers, because that's where the money is, right? And why do you put your AI agents on the VDP page? Because that's where the customers are going. And the agents can handle it as well or better than the people that you've got there. But what about your people? We're going to use the people, and you're going to see how we can redeploy the people. That's the best part. But everyone asks me, where do you start? Where do you start? And I think you start right where you are. You start right where you are with what you've got. I have this favorite story of mine, Acres of Diamonds. And Paul Singer told me this story. And Danny, you did say I have a little extra time. Okay, so please, because I was going to run through this stuff. But they deserve the best that we've got. Acres of Diamonds. I got a Manhattan Honda available for sale. I can negotiate a great price. I go to my boss. Boss, we can get Manhattan Honda for $2 million. And he knows how to say no without saying no. He goes, oh, that's interesting. It sounds like a good price. Let's discuss it. And he takes out a yellow sheet of paper, and he puts $2 million at the top. And he goes, okay, and how much do you think we need for working capital? I said, I don't know. He goes, put another $2 million. Puts $2 million. This is a long time ago. And he says, okay, now you're going to have to do the image. How much is that? I said, I don't know. Puts another $2 million. You're going to have to buy parts. You're going to have to buy parts. So puts that down. You're going to have to buy used car inventory. Put that down. Okay, I thought we were okay. He goes, before they allow us to buy that, they're going to make us do the image at Paragon. So put down another $3 million. And they're going to make us do the image at Acura. Put down another $3 million. And they're going to make me do it at White Plains. $2 million. I remember it like it was yesterday. At the bottom, he got to a number that was $20 million. And I said, Brian, at what level are you able to participate? I know. I had $200,000 in the bank. What does that make me, an 0.01% of an owner? He said, I tell you what, let's take a look at used cars. He goes, and he tells me the story of Acres of Diamonds. There's this guy that had a farm, and the guy's traveled all over the world looking for diamonds. He's in Africa, and in Africa, all these immigrants were coming in and discovering their wealth in diamonds in the continent of Africa. And he was a farmer, and he was a lousy farmer. He had a terrible farm. And he sold the farm, and he bought a diamond mine. And he was working the diamond mine, and he discovered nothing. And he killed himself, threw himself into a river and killed himself. He had squandered his family's fortune, and it's a sad but true story. And later on, in the farm that he sold, someone noticed a giant rock on the farmer's mantle. I said, "Hey, Johnny, what's that?" He goes, "It's a rock. The damn farmer's littered with them." And that rock was a raw diamond. The farm that he sold was literally littered with acres of diamonds. And to this day, it's a Golconda gold mine in Africa. And so Paul told me that story. He said, "Brian, the gold is underneath our feet. You don't have to go out there." I'm going to be honest with you. I wasn't sold. I walked out of his office. Okay, great story. This guy doesn't want me to succeed. This guy wants to keep me down. This guy, and thankfully, my office was across the street. And by the time I got to my office, I said, "This guy's never steered me wrong. Let's get into used cars." And we did. See, it's mirrors, not windows. So many of us are looking out there for the solution. We're looking out there, and the solution's right underneath our feet. And so my story today about sales and service isn't a cute story to keep you small. It's quite the opposite. It's a story to help you get everything you've got out of everything you already have. Where do we start? I think our friends at Kodak have a really good example for us. I want you guys to come back in 5 days and I'll have your pictures for you. Is that ridiculous? Or is that what it was like in our lifetime? The digital world was available to Kodak. They had the patent on digital photography. And my imagination in this conversation is the young guy's excited, like I was with Paul, and says, look, we've got this digital thing here, and we can take pictures, and the pictures are instantly available. And the guy says to him, the CEO, "Hey, dummy, do you know how we make money? We make money with print. We make money with film. We make money with cheap cameras. We make money with paper. You don't understand how we get paid." And I would say that individual at Kodak didn't understand the business that they were in.
A Kodak moment used to mean something.
It's a Kodak moment.
Kodak's failure to embrace the digital camera is a lesson of the power of the market. No industry or business can resist change. You have to adapt, even if that means competing with yourself.
Do you know what Steve Jobs did? Steve Jobs made every one of us a photographer. Every one of us. Do you know that more pictures will be taken today, than were taken in the entire history of film photography, including that one I just took? 5 billion pictures will be taken today. Why? He made it easy to take pictures. What was the business they were in? Capturing magic moments, not film, capturing magic moments. And nothing does it better than this. I can take 10 pictures. You don't have to come back in 5 days. I'm going to do the same thing here. And I don't know, let me be like a teenager. Let me do that like Glenn Lundy. They made it so damn easy. And what if we made transacting with our customers easy? What if we put intelligence into our customers' hands and gave them control? Will we take more pictures? Will we sell more cars? Will we take in more trades? You're afraid. You don't understand. We confuse how we get paid with what we do. What we do is not the same as how we get paid. What we do is we provide transportation for customers whenever, wherever, and however they consume it. We manage depreciating metal. That's the business that we're in. We're in the business of managing depreciating metal. That's not what I do. I sell luxury cars. Gotcha. Do you want to know how my Aston Martin depreciated? Like a stone. Oh my God. And so how do we do that skillfully? And you know, I have great friends at CDK. And the gentleman from Techion who spoke before, I think Techion's got it better than anybody else. They really understand that CDK holds the key. They've got your database or whomever you're using. They've got your customers there. They've got them hostage. The customer base, the database, the PII, is our advantage. What do we do with that database? And what would happen if we mixed our database with intelligence, and the intelligence could go into the database and get out the information and see patterns that you can't see, that I can't see, to help us serve our customers better, right? And CDK right now, they don't understand the business that they're in. It's my data! Oh, you want your data? We're going to charge you. Okay, well then, Dave Boyce, can you get my data? They're going to charge me. Danny, can you get my data? They're going to charge us. And you got to pay to get your data, and it's clunky, and they don't understand. And I'm sitting here saying, you're going to go away, guys. You can't do that. You know, we want a system where the intelligence and the data get together, and then we can know the customer better, we can serve them faster, and we can wow them everywhere. And intelligence gives you the opportunity to do that. Intelligence tells you not only are the customers in equity the one you should talk to, but customers who do this, and this, most likely do that, and that later. It can see patterns that you can't see. It can see patterns that I can't see. And so my vision many years ago was this thing called an IMS, an intelligence management system that reaches into social media. Because you live there and you tell everybody what you do. How many know people that take pictures of every meal and they put it on social media? Well, that's a little weird. But you've got Facebook, you've got Snapchat, you've got people posting, we just got engaged, we just got married, we just got divorced, thinking about divorce. You've got people, they're buying patterns that are available. And what would the intelligence be able to do if it took the data you've got in your database, mixed it with some of that? Would it be able to help you make better decisions? I think so. What about Amazon? What could we learn from the way you shop on Amazon? We could learn a lot, I think. And what about Chase? Do they know something about you? I can tell you this, that Amazon is working on a way to sell cars without doing five-liners. They're working on a way, they know your patterns based on the way you do business with them. They can sell you a car and never take a credit app. What the hell are you going to do? You're sitting there with a 17-hour process, and they're doing it quickly. I was part of a group that worked with Amazon, and they sold Hyundais out in California. And they celebrated selling 6 cars. Celebrated. And the dealers were laughing. Ha, 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 6 cars. And I'm pooping a brick. I'm pooping a brick, because if they can sell 6, they can sell 60, they can sell 6,000, they can sell 60,000, they can sell 6 million. That 6 to them was victory. We figured it out. And I'm like, damn. What are the problems we want to solve? Well, let's take a look at the big one. This is Steve Greenfield's slide. I love this. Look at all these vendors. And I know Rachel's in the back of the room, and she helps pay the bills at Paragon. And we pay all these guys. But it's only $2,500 a month, right? And that's anything under 25, you don't question. And they're selling you a solution. They're selling you a solution. Oh, their solution. Oh, that's got to work. That's a solution. That's a solution. That's a solution. And I want to tell them to kick rocks. Because the majority of them, well, they don't play nice, right? And these guys are drowning us in their tools. And we're starving for results. Because as one of the speakers said earlier this morning, they have disparate objectives. They want different outcomes. And we want one outcome. We want a good result. We want to sell cars. Real simple. The solution for us is to stop this silos, which kill speeds. You know, a major DMS provider bought all the tools they need. They bought a DMS, they bought a CRM, they bought all the, they bought vAuto, I won't mention their name, and 12 years later, they still haven't fully integrated them. So what chance do we have? For us, the solution is a single hub, zero hassles. And my friends will tell you, I have this imaginary situation. I go to my favorite bar, restaurant, Cipollini's. I'm sitting at the bar, and in walks Elon Musk. This is my imagination now. He walks in, he goes, "Hey, Brian, how's it going?" I go, "Hey, Elon," I'm impressed, he knows my name. He sits down, and I ask him, "Hey, Elon, who are you using for your DMS?" It's ridiculous, right? That's ridiculous. But then I ask a good question. "Hey, what's your CRM?" And he looks at me like I'm crazy because it's all integrated. So why don't we do that? Why don't we have one system integrated? I'm going backwards, sorry. And to me, this is what it looks like. We've turned this DMS into an IMS. And we're using all the social media inputs, Twitter, X, Instagram, Facebook. We're using the buying instincts where we can get them from Amazon and from Chase Bank and from American Honda Finance. And we're filtering that through Team Velocity and through VINCUE. And basically everybody else can kick rocks. Simplify. I've been known to talk about frictionless and making a frictionless transaction. It's not frictionless, it's less friction. How do we have less friction in the transactions? Because the game has changed. And you look at the ad that's being written on that cell phone right now, that's being written by AI. And the prompt was simple. Give us an ad that is SEO relevant in this market for this car. We want to have it sold by the end of today. We want to sell it at 97% cost to market. The ad's written, the car sold. Do you not believe that if we used AI, we could sell all of our inventory instantly? I do. I think we could say, "Hey, Hugh, we got 400 cars in stock. I want to use the AI. I want to sell the cars at our asking price, and I want to give AI the problem to solve. I want to match all the cars that we have with buyers, hand raisers, for that price, anywhere in the country." I think we could sell all the inventory in a couple hours. I believe that. The players have changed. How do you compete with these guys? Paragon, I'm proud to say, when we finished first in the country, we beat all the dealers in the country. And some of those dealers are billionaires. I'm not a billionaire, nowhere near it. And many of those dealers were public corporations. We beat all of them. How do you beat these guys? This guy, Sam Altman, the CEO of NVIDIA over here, Jensen Huang. Do you know what the net worth of that company is? As of yesterday, it was $4.8 trillion. How do you compete with them? Stella Lee. I've met Stella Lee, the president, the CEO of BYD. She is so incredibly brilliant and aggressive. It's the #1 electric car in the world. And the cars are fantastic. Don't give me that the Chinese stuff is no good. It's fantastic. And they continue to change. These are kids. Some of those guys, one of those guys was acquired by Facebook at $250 million a year to start. He's 25 years old. That's more than I make by a lot. And the expectations have exploded. They really have. So we say the challenge for us is to reinvent, to reinvent, to reinvent, to reinvent, to reinvent.
Integration, evolution's new frontier. Let me explain. College phenom Michael Jordan hits the NBA and wins Rookie of the Year. By his third year, he is the league's leading scorer and most popular player. In 1988, Jordan decides a one-dimensional game isn't enough to truly stand out. He focuses on defense, becomes a playmaker, and masters shooting from the outside. Jordan's Bulls go from winning games to winning titles. So ask yourself, why evolve? In 2001, Apple introduces the iMac, its new operating system, and its first retail store. That same year, Apple introduces the iPod and reinvents the music industry overnight. 5 years later, they do it again, disrupting the cell phone industry. Apple evolved from a $9 billion market cap before the iPod to a staggering $2.8 trillion market cap today. We have entered a period of volatility. In 2017, our goal was to grow our business without expanding the footprint of our facility. By 2024, we have done business with an additional 200,000 people. Are you still wondering how we did it? Because the game has changed. The players have changed. The challenges have changed. And opportunities are everywhere. Integration, evolution's new frontier. Are you ready? Is the industry ready?
I'm so excited. I am so excited, man. Okay, so Chris spoke about Wayne Gretzky. I was a hockey player in another lifetime, and he said, I don't skate to where the puck is, I skate to where it's going to be. And you're all here for the same reason. You want to know where the puck is going to be. Where is the puck going to be? It's your obligation for your team to understand where the puck and where the market is going. And I want to share with you my insights. I think finding a business within a business, that's where the magic is. And we did this, Andrew Diff and I, a bunch of years ago, came up with a formula. And this was the formula. E equals PO squared, right? An exchange equals a profit opportunity squared. And this came about because we looked at Vince Lombardi, the football great, and he had the power sweep. And the Green Bay Packers ran that damn sweep every single week. And you know what? There was nothing your sorry ass could do about it. They were so damn good at it. They knew the ball, he's going to come back, he's going to hand it to this guy. This guy's going to run around the end. They're going to have a hole there the size of a bus, and there's nothing you can do about it because they practiced, drilled, and rehearsed it. I wanted to have a play. I wanted to have a plan that was bulletproof. No matter what the competition did, they couldn't compete with us. And this was the formula. A vehicle exchange equals a profit opportunity squared. We'd sell a new car. Yay! We sell a used car. Yay! Service gets an RO for the new car. Yay! Service gets an RO for the used car. Yay! The finance department sells a warranty on the new car. Yay! They sell a finance contract on the used car. Yay! The parts department gets 2 bites of the apple. We feed all 5 of the profit centers in the dealership, giving us a holistic lift in the profitability of the dealership. What a great plan. And it worked. It worked. Every deal, every transaction, I challenge you, write in your pad, what is the value of a vehicle exchange at my store? A vehicle exchange is where a customer driving your car, who services with you, trades that car in for another one of your cars. Many dealers can't tell you the value of that transaction, although it's the most valuable transaction in the dealership. And I scratch my head, what the heck? You don't know your most valuable transaction? And in many dealerships, that number's $10,000, $11,000, $12,000. But those silos, again, kill us because the new car manager says, I don't get paid on used. And the service manager says, I don't get paid on new. And I say, I don't manage one department. I manage the damn dealership. I managed the damn dealership. And so we went to the service department in 2008 or 9. I ran into this guy at the Larry Miller Group, Paul Nygaard, and I said, God, it's a recession. How do you do it? You manage 71 dealerships. How do you do it? He says, well, we hire good people and we train them right. Yeah, I go, me too. What's the real answer? I said, I reserve the right to manage my business. And I swear to God, I reached into my pocket, pulled out a piece of paper, business card. I reserve the right to manage my business. And that day, when I returned to the dealership, I said, Leo, you work in the service department. I'm going to give you 4 salespeople and an F&I person. You guys work in the service department. They said, but I don't want to work in the service department. I said, of course not. If you wanted to work in the service department, you'd have asked me. I'm not asking you. I'm telling you. I'll price protect you. Whatever you earn the last 90 days, you'll earn going forward. And then we started humming along, and we were selling about 30 cars a month. This is a picture of me, 2011. And we were filming in the service department a certified video, how to certify a car. And I walked up to a salesperson and said, "How's it going, Johnny?" And John said, "Boss, it's really difficult. You talk to the guy, you got to show him this, you got to show him that." And he gave me all the difficulties. And I sat down and I said, "Listen, it's a simple process. You ask the customer, if I could take you out of your current car, put you into a new car and lower your monthly payment, would you be interested?" And the customer says, "No." You go, "No? So you'd rather keep the old car at a higher monthly payment?" "Okay." You go on to the next customer. It's simple. And I did a little bit of math, and the cameraman who was working for your team at the time, Joe Olish, who was phenomenal, said, "Hey, can you do that on video?" And we made this video, and we called it the math video. And I said, and I can remember like it was yesterday, 100 customers go into the service department. You're going to sell 3 if you talk to the 100 customers. Where did I get the number 3? Tony Robbins said there's 3% of you in the room, in the market for everything at all times. There's 3% of the people in this room in the market for a car. There's 3% of the people in this room in the market for shoes. There's 3% of the people in the market for a computer. 3%. So I said, if that's true, and I believe it is, we'll sell 3 cars. Of the 3, the 97 we missed, drop them into the BDC funnel, and you'll sell another 3 cars with good follow-up. And if you do that, that's 6 cars sold out of that day's book of business. 6 times 30 is 180 deals. I like easy math. 3,000 a car. It's 540,000. And the thinking was, at the time, and it was wrong, that you'd get an equal amount of trades. You'd get 180 trades at the same 3,000 a car, the same 540,000, and now you've got 1,080,000 a month. In addition to that, you'd have a service RO that's about $1,800 a car, 72% of which is profit. It's about $1,200 a car times the 600 and some 180 cars. It's another $1 million. It came out to about $1.3 million a month. And we thought that was pretty good math. At the time, we were selling 30 cars. At the time, they thought I was crazy. Right now, we're doing over $1 million a month. Well over $1 million a month out of the service department. But the math was wrong. We were never talking to 100 customers. We only get to about 30. Yet we still sell the same 3. And we never follow up with the 97. We follow up with about 25. We're still selling another 3. We're getting the 6 deals out of there. And I think of myself like this guy here, Mel Fisher. Mel Fisher owned a tackle shop in Laguna Beach, California. And Mel sold the tackle shop to go after treasure that he knew was buried in the Caribbean. And it was about a $470 million treasure that was sunk in the 1700s. And Mel went after it. And after he gets there, right? He gets there, he gets his little boat, he goes out, and he finds $1 million worth of treasure. Pretty good. And I think that's like me. I've had my $1 million treasure. I've done a pretty good job in the service department. And he takes the $1 million, reinvests it in this thing that sweeps the bottom, a vacuum, so we can see. And I've taken some of my investment dollars and I've invested them in some technology to help our people do a better job. And sure enough, I've had a $5 million hit. We've done even more business. Mel Fisher found $5 million worth of treasure. And people said, "Mel, that's great." And he said, "I'm not done. That's not the treasure. That's not the treasure." He invested in a bigger boat and better system. And sure enough, one day when they're searching, he found a giant cannon at the bottom. And Mel said, "Aha, the cannons were the first thing they threw overboard in a storm." And so he knew he just had to circle the cannon until he found another one. And then he found the direction, and another one. And he found the treasure. I feel like I'm Mel Fisher. And I think we found the treasure. Because I've been telling people this money is there. And now the technology is here to help us get it. The integration between Spine and VINCUE and Team Velocity made it possible. Most of you guys have VINCUE on your website. We now have VINCUE in our website. Most of you are looking at AI AI is a part of what we're doing. And it's so exciting to share with you.
Most dealerships focus on sales, but they forget about something even bigger: service. Let's run the formula. 170 repair orders every day.
We're up to 170.
That's 170 service customers walking through your doors daily. 17 of them, they buy a car on the spot. That leaves 153 opportunities for your BDC team to follow up. Now, let's say just 10% of those follow-ups convert.
Same 10%.
That's 15 more car sales. 17 plus 15, 32 cars every day. That's 960 cars a month. At an average of $3,000 gross per new car, that's $2,880,000 in front-end profit.
Oh.
And here's the kicker. 67% of those customers, they've got a trade-in. That's 643 trades. 643 multiplied by $3,000 in used car gross. That's another $1,929,000. And those trades require an internal repair order with an average net of $1,500. You're looking at $964,500 just from service. Stack it all up. That's a monthly impact of $5,774,100. Multiplied by 12 months, that's over $69 million annually. And the best part? You didn't even lift a wrench.
That's the math. That's the math. Now, I know there's a lot of people sitting there and say, get the hell out of here. And I'm saying, what am I doing here? I should be back in the store. I got work to do. That's the math. We're now doing 170 ROs a day, approximately. And if we can scan those cars every day, and if we can scan those customers and do an appraisal on every car, and if we can hook a tether up to those customers, and if we can turn every person in the dealership into a data mining expert, like Steve Jobs turned every one of you into a photographer, would we sell more cars? You bet we would. Would we sell more cars in a multiple that's different than what we're used to? You bet you would. Where do we get the numbers from? 10% is what we're selling now. Jason Felice in the service department is selling 10% of the people he talks to first blush. He's talking to 30 people, he sells 3 cars. They're following up and they're getting another 3 deals from the follow-up. That's 10% of the follow-up customers. That's the 6 deals that we're doing today. If we take the same numbers and we scan everybody, the math is the math. But then how are we going to do the follow-up? How are we going to do the follow-up?
Facebook was originally for Ivy League university students, and Amazon originally only sold books. Okay, now we've got a niche. We can go through the 5 biggest opportunities for making money with AI this year, starting with AI agents.
AI agents.
Agents are emerging as...
Agents are the thing everyone is talking about.
More AI agents.
The opportunity for agents is gigantic.
Think of it this way. If ChatGPT, Gemini, Grok, etc. are like the brain, the AI agents are like the body that can actually go and do things on their own.
Well, if those guys, those billionaires and soon to be trillionaires are saying AI agents, I said, I got to go out and get me an AI agent. And Marat and I started to work on finding an AI agent.
Hi there, this is Emily Carter from Paragon Honda. How can I help you?
Hey, how you doing? I'm just looking. I'm interested in one of your cars that you have on your website.
This transaction's handled successfully.
I'm glad you reached out.
It's handled better than 90% of our BDC reps can handle the transaction. And it's not impressive to me anymore. She sets the appointment, she books it next time, a text is sent to the customer, and it's not impressive anymore. What's impressive is this person's making a call, an outbound call, on an open recall. And Honda just announced they've got 4 million open recalls, or some crazy number of open recalls, and she's calling all of them. They're in my airspace. And then this customer's handling, now this AI agent's handling a new car call. And she's handling, and Ashley hates when I do do this, but then this AI agent is handling this. And there's 4, there could be 40, there could be 400 to get to the list that we never get to. They don't miss a day, they don't call in sick, they don't have health care costs, and they're handling the calls with efficiency. That's incredible. But wait, but what about your employees? That's a great idea. Well, that's a good question. We take the current BDC representatives and we put them with the sales and service team to go after those extra sales, because I'm going to need more staff in the service department. And we have the BDC people now excited about being replaced with an AI agent, because they can go where the money is in the service department. And they can be a participant in that. Instead of getting $20 an appointment, they can get $100, $200 a sale. And we think that's really exciting. And look at this, 100% of the vehicles in the service department are going to get scanned, 100%. We can do that today. 100% of the vehicles in the service department are going to get appraised. We can do that today. 100% of the vehicles in the service department are going to receive an equity analysis, and that's going to be sent to our customers. And that can be done today. 100% of the customers are going to receive a personalized offer, custom made to them, because the offers are different for everybody, because the equity in their car is different. And it's not only going to be on one car, it's going to be on that car that they're driving, and the cars with the highest statistical probability of them purchasing other than the same car that they're driving, because we're going to know the math. It's freaking awesome. And then we're going to monitor 100% of the behavioral activity on their personalized website. We're watching them. We're monitoring them. A little creep is good. Too much creep is no good. You know the little creep? You get into your car and you turn on Waze and it says, "Hi, Brian, are you going to work?" That's a little creep. That's good. If I get into the car and it says, "Brian, you're wearing nice underwear," that's too much creep. We don't want that kind of creep. But a little creep is good. And being able to monitor them, what happens, 100% of the key activities will trigger a dealer alert to build a car. Hello? It's working. Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay. I'm excited, Danny. So 100% of the key activities, "Hey, Benstock just built a car. He just built a car on your website." Don't you want to know? And you know, it becomes an efficient market. An efficient market is when the customer and the dealer have the same information. And we think that's a really good thing. Because then the customers can say, "Hey, I think I'm in equity. I'd like to buy a car. Hey, I just got pinged. I'm in equity. I'd like to know some more information about getting a car." We just make it easy for people to do business. And if one thing I learned from the people at Google, you make it easy for people to do business, they do more business. And then there's other things that go on. All of that information to have great conversations with customers. Most of the BBC reps, unfortunately, just use the last conversation. "Hi, I was going yesterday." Let's use all the data that's available for that customer. So without using all the information that's available to the customer. So they're going to have the entire history. They're going to have every bit of information about that customer. So when they talk to you, they can talk intelligently. Jessica or Jackie? Jessica came to Paragon. She walked from our service department, our sales department, to the service department. It's about 700 yards. They're not connected. She was part of the original crew doing things by hand. And she was amazed it was selling 50 cars. And she was telling me the story today. I said, remember when the things that we're doing today were just a dream? This is a dream. But we can start doing this today. And I'm excited to see our customers experience the gamification. I said to Chris Hoke, I said, "Chris, in Kansas City, Chris, can you build this for me? Can you build it for me? Can you build it for me?" And he said, "Brian, I can build it for you." I said, "Build it for me. Build it for me." He goes, "Give me 12 days. And then you know what he did? He built it. And he sent me this.
Here comes the money.
I got one, boss. I got one, boss. Imagine this. You've got your porter. Your porter is doing equity scans. The car comes in, and all of a sudden, here comes the money, 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 money. And the porter goes, I got one, boss, because he's getting commissioned on it. You don't need to go up to the grand, high, exalted, mystic ruler, God, car appraisal man. Please give me the right number. Please. No. You don't, nonsense. And then you get the right number on the trade, then you've got to go to the other God. Please, can you give me a proposal on the car after lunch? No! 2 seconds. Here comes the money. Money, 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 money. $6,000 equity. We'll figure out what to do with it. You know, I call me crazy, and I get it, man. I get it. People think I'm nuts. I'm not nuts. I'm passionate about it. I think we can pull this off. I'm setting the target for Paragon at 900 cars a month. And I want you to join me. I want you to be a part of it. Don't wait for me to do it. Don't wait for me to be here 5 years from now talking about 2,000 cars. You say, I should have joined it when we were talking about 1,000. It's going to be that much harder for you. I think we can do this. David Boyce's Apollo system that we've been using is, frankly, I don't want to say it should be illegal, but you can watch what the customers are doing on the website. You can make better decisions with the customers. VINCUE is giving us the information, not Kelly Blue Book, not Galves, but what the car is worth in Woodside, New York today. Giving us the highest statistical probability of transacting today. And I just think when you think differently, and you think a little crazy, that you can do 200,000 pickup and deliveries for service. I think you can sell 3,000 certified used cars a year in and year out. And the competition still can't figure it out all these years. Why are we at the top of all these years? Because they can't figure it out. And I tell everybody, here's how you do it. They still can't figure it out. It's okay.
Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes, the ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules, and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them. About the only thing you can't do is ignore them, because they change things. They push the human race forward. While some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius. Because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do.